Hey everyone, welcome back to FSi DFS. I'm McKinley412 looking at this lone Wednesday game in the NHL. I don't know what's going on with the scheduling. They had 2 games on Sunday, 1 game on Monday, 16 on Tuesday, back to just 1 today. I don't know. That's not my job. I don't make the NHL schedule. This isn't my job either, but I'm still going to be making videos for you guys Monday through Friday, preview videos for each of the main classic slates and this one showdown. So Washington and New Jersey. New Jersey is a quite large favorite at minus 240, and both these teams are going in like completely opposite directions. Washington, they've had a very successful past decade. They're now the oldest team in the league. They haven't really revamped their roster too much, and they're just slowly on the decline, and they look really sluggish to start the year so far. New Jersey, on the other hand, they're full of youth, and these guys are accelerating to hopefully the Stanley Cup and hoisting the Stanley Cup here either this year or next year or the year after that. They're going to be relevant in the NHL for quite some time here with this young core. So New Jersey, very heavy favorite. Looking over at the power play units, they have the best power play in the league so far on this young season, running at 42.9%, which is just unsustainable. Edmonton last year had the number 1 power play, and I think they're at like 32%, somewhere around there. So there's going to be some regression, but still, best power play unit so far to start the year. Washington, they're completely on the opposite side. They are dead last. They just got their first power play goal yesterday, facing off against Toronto in their 4-1 loss. Both PKs been pretty, nah. In terms of goalies, looking at the goalies, we already have a confirmed goalie. Hunter Shepard for Washington will be making his NHL debut. 9.4K, and 9.4 is pretty cheap for a goalie in Showdown. But Shepard is going to be making his NHL debut, and I don't know, if I was making my NHL debut, the last thing I would want is to be on a team that's looking pretty slow, pretty sluggish, and I'm going into the house of a team that is all about speed and pace, and they're a Stanley Cup contender. Just doesn't bode well for him. But, it's the NHL. Stranger things happen. And in terms of DFS, we also have to think about, shots faced for goalies. You see routinely the losing goalie outscoring the winning goalie because they've just had more opportunity to make saves. If the losing goalie is getting peppered with shots throughout the entire game, maybe they get that 35 shot bonus and they can hit a ceiling with that. So a losing goalie allowing 4 goals and getting 35 saves is going to be outscoring a winning goalie who maybe didn't see too much action. They only saved like 20 shots, but they let in 2 goals, got the win. They're going to score less than that losing goalie. Now, I'm not saying always play the losing goalie, but I'm just saying goalie is just so flip a coin. Don't pay too much attention to it in your builds. But Shepard, NHL debut, pretty cheap. Schmid, he is not confirmed, but they had Vanacek going yesterday on Tuesday night against Montreal, so I'm expecting it's probably going to be Schmid here. 10.2K. He was fine last season. He's only appeared in 2 games so far this year. Nothing special. Hasn't, really turned heads or anything, but he also hasn't looked horrendous. So goalies are definitely something that you have to be paying attention to in showdowns and if you want to go there. So let's look and talk about the builds here. So I think Jack Hughes, he's going to be the most popular guy on the entire slate, or in the showdown, the most heavily owned. 10.8K, very pricey, especially if you put him in that captain spot, and now he's north of 15,000 in terms of salary. You're going to start off, if you do go with that like optimal route, it's probably going to be Jack Hughes in that captain spot. If not in the captain spot, pick some other guy. But Jack Hughes, 10.8K, and then decide on Ovechkin. Ovechkin had 14 shots on net against Toronto yesterday. He's wanting that goal record. He's not going to lay down, but he had a really rough start to the season. And even yesterday, he only got that 1 goal on the power play with those 14 shots on net. But he's always a guy who's going to be in play for that shot and goal bonus for getting those power play goals. He's chasing Wayne Gretzky's record. I would understand if you do want to fade him, though, at 10K, just because of how much I believe, and really Vegas believes, that New Jersey's going to be controlling play. They're going to be having the puck on their sticks, and when the puck's on their sticks, it's not on Ovechkin's sticks to be ripping shots. So decide on what you want to do with Ovechkin. If you do put Ovechkin in, I did a little bit of the builds. If you put Jack Hughes at captain, go with Ovechkin in there as well. You're either going to decide what do you want to do with goalie. If you don't go with goalie, you're going to pick two of either Toffoli, Hischier, Bratt, or Hamilton. Now, Carlson, he's fine. He gives a lot of floor points. He's probably going to get a block shot bonus. He's probably going to get a couple shots on net. He does skate on that top power play. So if you do want to go there in cash, I would understand that. But I'm really going to be heavily in cash, going to be paying attention more to the New Jersey guys. Now, Toffoli, Hughes, they skate on the top power play unit. Hischier and Bratt, they also skate on the top power play unit. There is some merit. There is some strategy to picking, like, if you go with Toffoli and Bratt, going Toffoli, Hughes, and Bratt. Same power play unit, so you're going to have that correlation while they're on the power play against a weak penalty kill unit for Washington. And they're also going to be, spreading out your exposure at even strength. So you get that goal notification for New Jersey. Top line, very good chance that it could be them, but it's also a very good chance that it's going to be that second line as well, and you're going to have exposure to either of those lines. So I wouldn't fault you if you want to go with a Toffoli, Hughes, Bratt, or a Hughes, Hischier, Bratt, any mixture, but Jack Hughes is definitely going to be the cornerstone, the staple of it all, especially in cash/optimal builds. So that's kind of where the cash build is going to be rolling. In terms of GPP, if you think that Washington can, stand on their head and they're just going to go into a shell and just allow New Jersey to pepper them with shots, but, not high danger shots, maybe you go with Shepard at goalie. Like I said, NHL debut, the adrenaline's going to be pumping. It could swing really poorly. It could also swing in the other direction and go very well. So putting Shepard at captain in GPPs, I would totally understand it. He's probably going to see a lot of shots on net. New Jersey, they generate a whole ton of shots. So on DK, it's 35 saves, get you a bonus. So he certainly could be in line for that. And looking at Washington's power play units, there's nothing really exciting about them. But Ovechkin, you might see that he is blue. He skates on both the first power play unit and the second power play unit. He's just that much of Washington's offense that they're just like, we can't take you off the ice on the power play. They got Ovechkin's office there on the left dot where he has been parked since 2006, essentially. So Ovechkin, you can pair him with Stroman Phillips, get that even strength correlation as well, or you could pair him with Kuznetsov and Oshie. But if you are going with a Washington Capitals stack, Ovechkin's going to be in there, and Carlson, I would make sure that is in there as well. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to really talk about on this. I don't want to wrap up the video just yet. So let's talk about a little bit more of the individual plays and kind of what they bring to the table. Toffoli, he's all about, he's going to be generating shots, but he's probably not going to get as many points. Bratt's going to get you more points, like goals and assists, but he's not going to generate as many shots as Toffoli would. Hischier, he finally got his first goal of the season yesterday. And he's a fantastic play, in my opinion. Timo Meier, this was one of the best offensive guys, offensive forwards last year. I think I went over it. He was 7th in the league in shots generated with like 326 shots. And then he was like 14th in overall points or something like that. And then this season happened and he just doesn't know how to play hockey anymore. So I don't know what's happening to Meier, but he's probably not going to see a lot of ownership just because of how bad he has looked, but he is still one of, like, as of 4 months ago, one of the most elite offensive players in the league. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's injured. Who knows? But if you want to jam him into your lineups, I would not fault you there going with the Toffoli, Hughes, and Meier full line stack in that regard. Palat, Mercer, Holtz, you'll see that they do get power play time, but they really don't provide you much of a floor at all. Honestly, New Jersey is one of those teams where it's very top-heavy in terms of where their production is going to be coming from. More often than not, it's just going to be coming from these top two lines. I wouldn't really touch Lazar, McLeod, and Bastian, except if you're making like 150 lineups, which if you're making 150 lineups in a showdown, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Siegenthaler, he's had a nice start to the season. He's got I think a trio or a quad assists so far on the season, but he's more of a defensive guy. His role is mainly to allow Hamilton to move up ice and join the rush. So he's more sitting back there. Ball, Marino, Smith, these are guys that you're looking for block shots. And really, at 2K and 2.6K and below, if they're able to get a shot block bonus, they paid off their salary. But at the same time, I don't expect Washington to generate many shots in this game for that to really be something that you should be expecting from any of these guys that are only getting 12 to 14 minutes in their game. And then Luke Hughes, yes, he is the brother to Jack Hughes. He does skate on that top power play unit. Honestly, from a DFS standpoint, I'd prefer Hamilton to be on this top power play unit just because of what he's able to provide at even strength. If he would get that top power play unit time, it'd make everything so much easier. Luke Hughes does not have the same floor as Hamilton, but he does get that top power play unit time. I don't know if it's like the chemistry of the brothers that the coach is hoping for here, Lindy Ruff, but it is what it is. Luke Hughes, he's fine at his 5.2 price tag, but don't be expecting him to light up the score sheet by any means. In terms of the Washington side, man, they're just not a fun DFS team. They're not a fun DFS team in terms of they're not going to be generating a whole lot of offense this season, in my opinion. Their power play units are kind of all over the place, and at the same time, they're not very top heavy. You're going to get goals from Milano and Backstrom and Wilson and Kuznetsov and Oshie and Strome. You can see all three of their lines are very even in salary because honestly, you get the Washington goal notification, you don't know where it's coming from. Yes, Ovechkin's probably going to be part of it, but at the same time, if he's not, it could be any of these guys, which makes a Washington capital stack. Don't just jam in the top guys on the top line who are probably going to see more ownership just because they're on the top line. Maybe bump it down into Washington 2 or Washington 3 if you do want to go in that route. Carlson, I do like him, even in cash games. If you do want to go with him in cash games, I would totally understand that. So, if you want to go Carlson instead of Ovechkin, I could listen to that. $1,000 cheaper. Could get the block shot bonus. He also shoots the puck. It's that top power play unit time with Ovechkin and all that kind of stuff. I could listen to that argument there. Sandin does get on the second power play unit, but a lot of these guys you're looking for block shot bonus. Jensen, I think, is one of the more heavy block shot guys here. Let me check here real quick on the defensive stats. Farabee and Jensen. They're the two guys outside of Carlson who are leading Washington in terms of block shots so far on the young season. Jensen, more historically, is the guy who's going to be getting those block shots. So if you do want to try to reach for that bonus on a cheap punt play at 3.2K, totally would be understandable if you do want to go that direction. Only one injury to pay attention to is Dowd. I don't expect him to play. He's day-to-day, but he's been day-to-day for a week and a half now, it seems. So, I don't know. It's really not much to watch in the grand scheme of things. So, that kind of wraps up the slate. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If so, please hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, comment down below, and then come join us in our Discord. We've had a couple of new faces. If you want to try it out just for a day, we do have a daily package. And if you type in the coupon code POWERPLAY, all capital letters, you get it in for free. Free is free. If you don't like it, you don't have to stay. But yeah, we'd love to have you. Had a couple new faces, and it's really been fantastic. But we'll be back tomorrow for, I think it's an 11-game slate on Thursday. So super excited about that. Good luck in your contest here in this showdown. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.